Okay. Um, this is chapter 18 of the book of Kadam. Dialogue between the Adisha and his main disciple, Dromtemba. So, and then this chapter is like a how to welfare to another beings. That's the so like how benefit to other beings. This is the main topic of this chapter. And there talks many the morality and how to after that how to cultivate compassion. So now we are talking about the four immeasurable, which is connected with the compassion. And let me count one more time. What are the four immeasurable? The immeasurable of compassion, immeasurable of loving kindness, and then joyful, and then immeasurable of equanimity mind. So the why call immeasurable because that compassion, that focusing on or like observing on immeasurable sentient being. So the loving kindness or joyful, whatever, right? So those are the object of observation is the whole entire sentient beings. The sentient beings are immeasurable. Their objects as immeasurable. Therefore, the call is immeasurable. So when we say sentient beings is immeasurable, sometimes we feel, oh yeah, we can count the human being in this earth like 8 billions or 7 billions, and then how comes immeasurable, right? So um, the we count it like every single beings, which is included the animals and insect, and then not only on this earth, also that we believe that many different planets, and each planet has their own, there are many different sentient beings. So even this earth, the beings who lives in earth, who lives in water, and who's flying, look at that way, and then we can almost like a countless being there, right? So only regarding, we really cannot count exactly the beings in this earth. Good morning. So, so that you can take an example. And furthermore, we are also talks like as I mentioned, different planets as like a different beings. That kind, as that we look at that way, also it's immeasurable. So, therefore, the immeasurable, countless, we say countless beings. It's clear, makes sense for you, right? Okay. So the four immeasurable, and the so okay. Let me read one more time. So please correct my pronunciation and some word that I do not know. Thoughts of my tradition, from where should one begin, right? The Dromdema asked to Atisha, then Atisha answers, Drom, if you experience an unbearable feeling in your heart, the wish to relinquish, it arises. For example, if child fall into the fire pit, his mother's heart cannot bear it. How can I pronounce that? Abruptly, okay, abruptly discarding, right? All seemingly important tasks. Her mind is consumed only with their urgent thought of how to free her child. Because usually drum, though she has great love for her son, if it is an no immediate danger that prioritizes others' tests. So when we generate compassion, taking always example as a mother's compassion to children's, this is because most of us might have an experience of that, and especially mothers that have an experience. And then not only mother, also sometimes the fathers can be have what call same feeling as mother does. Um, but usually, it's covered with the assumptions, the father's compassion and the mother's compassion. Mother has more like how can you call it? Is this sensitivity?
Maternal instinct.
What's that?
Maternal instinct, I think.
Wait, okay. Yeah. So it's feeling more stronger. Usually say the mother does have a more stronger feeling than fathers, but I don't know. It could be. Um, uh, right? Because it's kind of like a more judgmental between male and female. Well, usually we say that, yeah. Therefore, we're taking example as a mother, as a always taking example. So now here, taking mothers as example, and then how they love to their childrens. So it's talking about the as a majority in general. Therefore, we can accept that. So and then more looking at the moment of feeling when children's foot in a fire or taking rivers, whatever, at the moment feeling how mothers can survive it, right? So that feeling we should know. And then that's exactly feeling not only your own children's, that feelings we try to have for every other single beings, the stranger or even like a who you found very difficulties. So that's the compassion regarding here. Um, if you like otherwise if you make like a distinction between like the beings like who are difficulty and who are you close to you or strangers, if you make that kind of distinguish, then your compassion is biased because you love to someone, not love of someone. As well as your compassion is biased, that compassion does not exactly help you to free from suffering or not exactly give you the enough strength to like to benefiting to others, right? Because it's very limitations because you are focusing on very individual few people that you love, and then you are not focusing on others. Even more worse, some people strongly decided that I'm not going to have any more compassion or loving kindness to that kind of person or that group or like this being. So it is worse because then you are not really accepting to generate compassion to their beings, that kind of beings which you give up, right? Then it's almost cannot have a compassion for that. It's not open mind. It's become more narrow minds because you are decided that I'm not going to do that, right? So that is more worse than that you don't have a compassion. So that generally regarding like this compassion definition of here, we almost don't have it. Therefore, that as well as we open-minded, then yes, we can exactly cultivate what compassion talks here. So if you decided not having compassion to others or some individual beings, then as you decided, then you don't hear more why reason that we have to cultivate compassion to difficulty people or something that you don't like it because you don't hear that. Then as well you don't hear that, you're never ever ready for cultivating compassion, that kind of feelings, right? So therefore, if so, then your compassion always remaining as a very limitations and narrows and biased compassion. So, so then, yeah, the, why we need to connect the all sentient beings? Isn't that enough that I can cultivate compassion to who I love, who's close to me? Isn't that enough in my like a surviving life? So. The answer is not enough, right? Then if you think it's enough, then you might have some answer. But here's a why not enough. Because the two reasons. One reason is your own own benefit, or your own like a happiness. Therefore, not enough. And then another not enough because they are suffering, right? So but in generally, we are more having a strong self-centeredness than always looking at own benefit. Even your own benefit, It's not enough to taking your compassion limitations. So you must have to cultivate other beings. So then, okay, simple example. The people who you really love one, uh, you feel less suffering with them, or you can easily forgive to them, forgiveness to them. You can be more easily patient for them because you accept it as loved one, right? But who you do not have that kind of thoughts, then you are not easily forgiveness. You are not easily have a patience, as well as you do not have a patience and forgiveness that cause you have suffering, right? So when you go outside, then the beings you really don't want to connect with them or really don't want to be patient with them, but reactions, their anger, their attitudes or negative actions, right, or negative thoughts, all this ready for cause us to have suffering to own our own self, right? So as far as you connected with that person as seeing as a loved one, then you can easily be patient for that. So that's just how finding our own happiness or try to stop suffering, right? Try to free from suffering. So you see the connections, right? So therefore, it's very meaningful, worth to cultivate compassion to every single beings. And another way is say, for the example, you're good with your neighbors now, right? I'm being enough patience with my neighbors or your towns, whoever beings live there, but you're not ready for cultivate compassion to like other countries' beings, right? And again, one day you will travel to that countries as you don't like at the very beginning, or you're not ready for or you do not have a love to that beings, but as you're traveling in that countries, always uncomfortable or inconvenience or suffering will always remain there because that where you're traveling the countries that you will see that be like a human being or what everywhere human beings are everywhere, right? So and then every time you have to meet it, you have to deal with it, right? You have to go restaurant, you have to go hotel, or you have to go shopping, or you need some kind of transportations. All this depends on being who we do not know. All this depend on the human being that we hate or we don't love. Then even like you're traveling or transporting with some kind of taxi, you're not happy with that being, right? So even they are like a out of country, but they're there, and then you're here from here. You just practice the mind training and then cultivate compassion even toward to them. Then when you're traveling at that country, you always feel the peaceful and then fearless because you feel close one, right? Whoever you feel close one, we have a less fear, right? So then having less fear and then and then peaceful and happy. This is the result that you cultivate compassion for every single beings who you know, who you do not know, who lives in far away from you, who lives close to you, right? Who are weak or who are strong, who are rich and who are poor, who are educated, who are uneducated. Every single beings that we equally share love as the mother have it for their own children's. So then you can see, oh yeah, that's definitely I see I can have a definite I have a less fear and so on so on. If you see that, then you should open mind for cultivate compassion for every single beings. In order to doing that, you are not really or in another way say, in order to doing that, we need a lot of exercise. or mind training that we call, right? So the mind training or exercise, you don't have to focus on every single sentient beings. You can play with the three people, three beings, three human beings who you really love one, who are stranger, and who is like a very difficulty for you, or almost you hate it, always hate it, that being. Now you play with these three being as well. We're exercising or cultivating compassion. And once you're good with these three beings, then you will be good with everyone's, because all the majority, every human beings included in these three beings, either it's close to you or strangers or difficult for you. Understand, right?
Yeah.
So that's the how we are exercising, and then that exercise not like a direct connecting with them. It's more mentally exercising, imagination exercise with the imaginations. It's a lot of help. It is worked. Exercise with imaginations worked. So it's change your thoughts. It's change in life, daily life, or in real life. Even you do like it just by yourself, you're in your room, right? No one else there, but you can do exercise, that kind of things. And then doing more and more, then it's really affecting real life. You're changing in real life. So, that you can test it. Last time I mentioned it, right? You can depict it up, the beings who you found really difficulty, right? And then always you had it. Then close your eyes and then invite that being in front of you imaginationally. So, and that being is there now. And then analyze it, right? Why I hate it? Then find out the reason. And this reason applies every time or every day or not, right? The reason might be say, that I don't like the face, or I don't like their attitude, or they always harms to me. Those kind of reasons, right? So, and then you hate to them because their face is ugly, then you are not really honest, right? So, and then again, the ugly and beauty is very dependent. Sees to you as ugly, but not necessarily it is ugly, right? So, yes.
Just because I try to have compassion for people who are my greatest teachers in life.
Mm-hmm.
But would you consider that mind taming if you are able to do that? Like, is that a form of mind taming?
Yeah, definitely. And then also your practice and experience will be more answer for that. Yeah. Therefore, actually, the ugly is very depend on people's, right? How do they see? Give you one example. And in India, they have a kind of story. The King Akbar, Birbal. I don't know. Maybe you're familiar with it or not. So. So the Birbal is the minister or servant for King Akbar, and then he's very intelligent and wise person. And then King asked to him, bring to me more beautiful, best one in this country. The children's bring to me the best children's, the best beautiful. How is it? Beautifulest?
Most beautiful. Most beautiful.
Most beautiful. Okay, most beautiful children's bring to me from this town. And once Birbals brings one children's, and this color is very black, then color like looks like and suddenly looks like a not really attractive, right? And then King gets surprised. Is this the only one you found in this town? Yes. And then King cannot accept that as a most beautiful in this town. And then Birbal said, okay, let's go then see how it's beautiful. Then the Birbal bring back children to their mothers. And then the Akbar and Birbal like hiddenly to went to the town and look at, because people wants to demonstrate that the children's house beautiful is. And then they're watching there, and then children's running and then fall down. And then mothers comes out running after that and then hold it and then saying, oh, my moon, and every like a word that you describe beautiful is my moon, my heart, and most beautiful you, what happening, then it's exactly happening. Sees as mother sees that children is most beautiful, as saying that my moon is like, moon is one of the example beautiful, right? And my heart and so on and so on. I don't remember every single word, but every single word the mother used for carrying their children is very attractive thing words, right? So then say then king said, yes, is this for the children's mother? Yes, but not for everyone. Then Bilbo answers, yes, his mother is beautiful, therefore it should be accept beautiful, therefore no common beautiful that everyone can see exactly same. There are no common beautiful. There are no common ugliness. So everything is dependent, right? So some likes a round face, some like a long face. That's dependent, right? So, and then who you love, always beautiful. Even you have a wrinkle and so on, still beautiful. That's things, right? And then who you hate, doesn't matter how young, how looks attractive, you don't like it, right? And then let's simple example, right? Let's say we take it one most beautiful the human in this earth. You can take one example, and then one of their actions, one of their attitude can change you, right? Now, out external is very attractive. Can I say attractive? The word, right? So external is very attractive as you sees it. Then when you're getting close and talking, there are like negative actions, their negative attitude, every single thing you see, and your visions change. Now no more attractive. You don't like to see that person because of behavior. And actually, the behavior and external attractive is two different things, right? These two separate things. But as but it's as these two is connected to each other, that makes us like a see no more beauty. Because beauty attractive, that makes the our mind, our desire increases, right? And then want to see and want to meet, that kind of things happening. But one of their attitude, bad attitude, which is really you dislike it, that cause you say don't want to see it, right? Don't want to meet it. So see, that's the clearly see that beauty and ugly is really dependent. So therefore, the external shape or color shouldn't make you any judgmental that I'd like or don't like it, because it's dependent. Even you see, but still don't like, I don't like it, right? As is dependent, I don't like it. So that's fine, right? So if you don't like as from the like appearance, the external appearance, then until you don't like it, you feel suffering. You feel uncomfortable, right? Not at all. And then as you don't like it, then like someone very much respecting to that person, you feel jealous, right? And then like having more successful that person, you always uncomfortable. Everything's happening emotionally and physically, having suffering because you don't like it, right? Now switch the perspective that make it you like it. Any reason applied, you should apply the any reasons, and then try to change your perspective, then change everything. It's one way to look at it, very simple, just changing mind, right? Perspective, not changing that any kind of things, just changing your mind, then sees everything is beautiful. So therefore, this is one example why we don't want to cultivate compassion or generate compassion to every single sentient beings. That could be the one reason. And then when it is the one reason, then you just try to play with it, then change your perspective. If another reason because it harms to me, then again, I mentioned it last class. It's one time harming means not that every moment is harming to you, right? So therefore, that person is in front of you, then describe, yes, that person is not every single time is harm to me. Every single time is not the bad. Every single time is not the negatives, right? Um, so that's actually the all beings is not actually. It's like in real life, every being is not the every single time is a negative or like a bad attitude, right? Is not. So as it's not, then we should accept that that being who in front of you with the imaginations is also not the every single time. But when it harms to me, what happened with that guy? Finding out the source, it might be they found difficulty, or they might have anger, or they might have a bad intentions, or they might have an expectation, desire, attachment. All this like emotion let that person act, which is harm to you, right? Therefore, we always separating the being person and person's action. And the source of action, always separate it. Source of the actions, and then who acted the person and what actions. These three exactly separate, right? So, but we always put it together. One time seeing negative, then we try to see every time negative, and from head to like feet, every single parts are negative. Every single actions are negative that we see, right? But actually, it's not because you are negative mind now. We do have a negative mind. That's how we see this. Because one time negative, we see we dislike it one person. Every single action, I don't like it, right? So when we like it, someone, then every single action is like it. When we don't like it to someone, every single action is don't like it. Isn't that our mind? It's not that really this person's action. It's our mind. So therefore, once we have a negative mind, that's the seeds. Therefore, the important to clear our negative mind. So this is how we need to exercise and mind training, apply many reason and change your perspective to exactly the person who are in front of you, who you really dislike it, right? And then you do one time, two time, three time, 1 week. Then after weeks, when you see the person in real life, your thought might be changed. Your thought will change it. As well as your thoughts change it, your attitude change. Everything's changed now, right? See, the imagination is how it's help in real life. Therefore, it's worth to do that. So therefore, always in regarding Buddhist instruction, when we cultivate compassion, always be yourself, just by yourself, right? Not need to in a community, in a society, not necessary to meet each people's. Just sitting in your cushion and training your mind repeatedly. That help you to change in your real life. This is how it goes. Because um, yeah, this is you can take this is the how we need to exercise, and then further we can I don't know the Chopal leading this when I was leading the meditation the Wednesday after breathing meditation, I always picked up one of the immeasurable, and then we are meditating on it. uh, the guiding meditation that we do that. So yeah, and then until like I've quite many years I lead the Wednesday meditation, and then every time I try to not miss one of the four immeasurable, meditating on one of the four immeasurable, even it's repeated monthly, yearly, every time. But I do that. But it's, at the same time, we adding some different meditation part. But this I try not miss that. This is the actual meditation means, right? Breathing meditation is preliminary for that. that is let me allow or having willing to meditate on compassion of one of the four immersible. This is the actual practice. This is the actual training. This is the actual the change in our daily life. The breathing meditation is not change you, but it makes you calm. It makes you calmness, that's true, but not change you. Not change your anger, not change your desire, not changing at all, right? So changing your anger and desire, we need to some kind of apply or different remedy, and it has to be cultivate on it or meditate on it. Cultivating means meditating on it, right? This is actually how we change it, then how we change it. Otherwise, there are no way to change it. Okay, so this is like a, and then go back that your the feeling or your wishes or your empathy is toward to that person who you difficulty has exactly same as like a the loved one. If not, that telling you you have to still meditate and cultivate. If you have strongly equally that you have to love one, then you are getting better, right? And then continuously do that. This is how we have to cultivate compassion in daily life. So, and then in these paragraphs actually talks the compassion is the root and main source, right? And then as well as you have a compassion, loving kindness comes, joyful comes, equanimity comes, that it says here. That's the one way to do it. But sometimes we reverse practice, first build up the equanimity mind. So, do you familiar with the equanimity mind? Right? Are you familiar with the equanimity mind? Equanimity is here no more bias through by the attachment and hatred. So far, right, we have a strong bias, right? We hate people that dislike. We have a strong attachment that people who really like it. Then already like distinguishing this between these two people, right? That's the bias because from it's not the being because of attachment and hatred or ignorance make distinguishing each other, right? So we therefore you are not treating equally, you are not wishing equally because of you only wish to have happiness for people who you really love. You're never willing to wish people that who you hate, right? So that's no equanimity, right? Because you are holding that cause which make like a bias or distinguish between what called racist,
Race,
let's say
racist.
racist, yeah, because this group is not good, that group is good, is racist, right? So the race is happening because of attachment and desire, like a hatred. If you do not have this, it will not happening, right? So that's we call equanimity. So equanimity means as well as your mind have to be generate as equanimity. In order doing that, you have to less desire to who you love. You have a less hatred to who you like and don't like it. And then finally, you should end it. No more desire to who you love it. And no more hatred to who you dislike it. Then it will exactly having equanimity. Once you have equanimity, then you can wish equally for all sentient beings that wish free from suffering, that wish have a happiness, and so on, so on. Whatever you wishing, whatever you wants to your loved ones, same that you wants to everyone's. That's happening because we have equanimity. I'm saying different technique that reverse, like first we build equanimity, then compassion, and then loving kindness, and then joyful. That's one way. Here saying compassion is first, then loving kindness, and then joyful, then equanimity. That's also worked, right? But it is more challenge, it's more harder. If you more simple or more easy way to go, to build up equanimity is first. Then go with compassion and love and kindness. What is different between love and kindness and compassion for you? Is there any different for you? Yes.
Well, compassion is more just about, removing suffering
Uh-huh.
versus adding love and joy and help. Well, compassion, I guess, both, but compassion, I think, just to feel people suffering and want that to be alleviated.
Yes. Uh-huh. And love and kindness?
And loving kindness is just more about kind of feeling, them as individuals and wanting them to feel love and happiness.
Yes, yes. That's the usually we say is different between love and kindness. Compassion is more wishing free from suffering. Therefore, as you said, focusing on suffering and then wishing to free from suffering, right? Love and kindness is more wishing to have a happiness. There's two different things actually, right? Having happiness and free from suffering is two different things. So therefore, love and kindness more wishing to have happiness. So then in order to do that too, maybe first we cultivate compassion, then we cultivate love and kindness. Because love and kindness, you're wishing more have them have happiness. So compassion is more wishing them free from suffering. And the beings really free from suffering, they will have a joyful. They will have a happiness. If they are not free from suffering, they will not have a happiness. For example, people who have a really depressions, right? And then you try to bring nice food to them, they not feel really delicious food. You let them stay in a very wonderful house, they not feel that joyful in the house because they're depression, they're suffering. So the first what we have to do is let them overcome by that depression or suffering. Then you feed them. They feel very joyful with that delicious, right? Then no more depression, no more suffering at all. And whatever you're treating nice to them, will feel it, joy, right? Otherwise, because the differences overcome, depression is one example. Maybe a more good example for all of us, which we have experience, is anger, right? Once you have anger, and when people comes to say nice to you, we're not almost accepting that. We avoiding it, right? And then every food, not really delicious, right? So you go to the party with anger, and people enjoying with the food, you will not enjoy the food because the anger. This is a simple example, right? So therefore, first what we have to do is overcome by anger. Then you can join, and then they will enjoy it. Until then, they will not enjoy it. So therefore, first, important to let them free from suffering. Then next, bring more joyful and happiness to them. Therefore, love and kindness better comes after the compassion, cultivating of compassion, the practicing, right? As we said it. So let's another example say we talked about the 10 non-virtuous actions, right? Do you familiar with it? 10 non-virtuous action. 3 refers with the body, 3 refers with the speech, and the 3 also 4 refers with the speech, and 3 refers with the mind. Like a killing, what is refers 3 refers to the body is killing, stealing. Sometimes we count it sexual misconduct. So these 3 is non-virtuous actions. And then if we look at the 4 verbal non-virtuous actions are lying, or using the harsh word, and then you speech the divisive speech, or idle gossip, right? If you restrain this 4, no lie, or like no use divisive speech, no harsh words, that could be the action of the compassion, because you are not giving whatever, like giving them suffering, that you restrain, the cause of that suffering is restrained, that your lying could be might cause them have suffering, right? Your divisive speech might be cause them have suffering. As we controlling it, as we restrain that my verbal actions, negative actions, that you are trying to stop them have a compassion through by yourself, right? But on the other hand, making them joy, then you have to smile to them, you have to handshake them, you have to invite like a dinner or lunch, whatever we just treating nice to person, that all the action we have to do it. It's two different things, right? The action making them happy and joy. One thing is you stop to all possibility that cause can they have them suffering, whether they feel or not, but it's clear that you stop. At least you are not causing them suffering because you restrained all these non-virtuous actions, right? So that is compassionate actions. That not necessary that they are happy with you, right? And plus, if you act more like a treating nice, then they will happy with you. Just see the two different feeling, two different actions, love and kindness and compassion, right? So that's where as you know that two different actions, then you will know, okay, bringing them love and kindness, what I have to do it. Cultivating love and kindness means as I'm wishing them more happy, I try to do them happy more happy, right? Smile it, even you don't like it, even you don't want to smile it. It's not called like you lying, right? We do many times actually. So sometimes we don't want to smile to the people, but as social connection, we are smiling. Could the fact smile? But it's worked. It's worked, right?
It makes us happier too to smile.
Yeah, but you are not lying though. You are using more skillful. Either you protect yourself or you are helping them. What either is what? Your smile is you can't protect yourself, right? So that kind of actions, that's it's a worked. Therefore, bringing them joy, you can smile, which is no cost anything, right? So, and then this is the Buddha actually said it. When we do generosity practice, what you can give if you do have anything to give, your smile, etc., right? Your good heart. So all this you can give it. Not necessarily that you have to know they feel it. As you training it, you smile it, try to have a good heart to them. One day might they feel, even they not feel, you receive all the benefit that you're doing it. Right? So you cultivating a good heart, you receive the benefit that you will be more calm. You will have less suffering, or you will not have any like bad connection with the other beings because you're good heart, right? So at least you're receiving benefit whether they know or not. Doesn't matter. But if they know, well, better. If they feel better, then you will feel it. See how like a tricky way to bring happiness in our daily life, right? So therefore, the love and kindness and compassion, maybe first cultivate compassion, then love and kindness, even our daily actions, how we can um, act compassionately to them, or how we can bring them joyful or happiness, right? So the act compassion is, as I mentioned earlier, you really don't have to go them and directly give the medicines or directly help. You don't have to do that. At least as you restrained your 10 non-virtuous actions, you are acting of compassion. Because if you're not careful on that, it might cause suffering to many people. At least you restrain it, that you're not causing them suffering through by yourself, right? This is the acting of compassion. Or I think I can say better acting than you are going and helping directly. Once you go there and helping directly, at the moment, the motivation is like colorful. Colorful means like not really white, black, red, and yellow, all colors mix, right? Our minds is like a, you understand what I tried to say?
It's called gray area.
What to say?
It's called gray area.
Great area?
Yeah, they call it gray area.
A gray area,
It's
okay.
gray area.
Yeah. Not really exactly thinking what the moment what you're doing it, and then also like manifesting many different type of emotion, many different type of thoughts, right? It's not really clear at the moment. So, but at least if you restrain your 10 non-virtues actions, that's clear. Therefore, I might think it's better compassion action toward others, right? And then, of course, this is not the complete one. The completing is cultivate compassion. While you cultivate compassion, even you don't have enough benefiting the other, at least restrain your negative actions. And another way to say, you keep your moral ethics well. That's all. Moral ethics means restraining. One of the moral ethics is restraining your negative action, right? So that's moral ethics. Keeps you moral ethics. Then cultivate compassion. Carry these two every time. Keep in your principle practice in your daily life, and that is how you carry it with you wherever you go. Your moral ethics and cultivating compassion. This is you will feel more better and better, more peace, happy years in daily life, longest happiness, right? So yeah, and then within this four immeasurable, now it's left over is joyful. The joyful here as similar as rejoicing, and rejoicing is antidote for jealousy, right? So and then again, um, we should match. Like I said, I wish to have all free from suffering. I wish to have all happiness. Then when they have a happiness, why are you jealous then? Isn't that contradictory with our wish? Right? So therefore, when you see them have like a successful, better education, more attractive, or more like the everything is better for you, then you should be happy as like your father or mothers. When children's doing better and parents are happy, right? So and we are the father and mother of all the being children, right? So then we should be happy, right? So that's rejoicing. That rejoicing is joyful talks in the last moment. As well as you enough cultivate compassion and love kindness, rejoicing always there. If you feel that not rejoicing at the present, then you do not have compassion and love and kindness toward that person, whoever you have a jealous, right? Then you are toward to having more suffering to yourself. Right. So therefore, rejoicing, again, there are no costs, right? You might need a little bit more energy to force it or like cultivate it. Whenever you are ready to having jealousy, jealousy is one aspect of the anger actually. It's like once we have a jealousy, it's like a not forbearance at the moment there. You cannot be patient with their success. It's a part of the anger, right? It's one phase of anger. So therefore, whenever arises jealousy within you to whoever, try to recognize, okay, that's mine. Jealousy is very negative emotion. It's not benefit for both self and others. Then why I have jealousy, right? So I also, mentioned one of my earlier class. I do have a jealousy sometime, right? So, and then always try training. Then when I feel jealousy, okay, let's see. This is the object of compassion, which I really wish it, right? And then they are happy with it. Then why I'm unhappy, right? So this kind of things I'm training myself to apply many different reasons, and then to change my jealousy toward to someone else, right? So that's then whatever they do, I might feel good. I feel okay, right? Otherwise, until I hold as jealousy, whatever they do, I'm not happy, right? Because of jealousy. So therefore, the antidote is here rejoicing, and the rejoicing is sometime is there, sometimes is not there. We don't have the equanimity rejoicing, right? The as a compassion and love and kindness. So that rejoicing should be make a equanimity for everyone who you are, who you like, who you don't like. Special, who you don't like. Do more work on it because it's not comes naturally. Who you love, it comes naturally. You'll be happy when they're happy. So, and the special challenge is who you don't like. That time, really, really, we focus and try to get a rejoice for them, right? This is one beings, and they feel happy. I should accept that, right? So this is I always wish let them happy. So that is the joyful, right? So the rejoicing, the joyful, the rejoicing, that kind of things. Is it clear about the four immeasurable? Sorry, I'm not read all the line by line. Or maybe one of you help me. Can you help me to read from here, Drom, all this sentence? Yeah.
I don't have my glasses.
Okay.
Which one? The
From Drom, yeah.
drum, if you experience an unbearable feeling in your heart, the wish to relinquish it arises. For example, or we read this already. If a child falls into a fire pit, his mother's heart cannot bear it. Abruptly discarding all seemingly important tasks, her mind is consumed only with the urgent thought of how to free her child. Usually Drum, though she has great love for her son, if he is in no immediate danger, she prioritizes other tasks.
Please continues all this, finishing all this. Yeah, all this four immeasurable.
If you possess an unbearable compassion for all sentient beings, Drum, you will drop all other tasks and will strive your best to free sentient beings. On the basis of this, you will come to understand all beings as your parents. You will then have no partiality with a sense of either intimacy or distance towards them. You'll only think how joyful it would be if they enjoyed happiness, and how joyful it would be if they enjoyed comfort. Given that, if they were to attain Buddhahood, all other forms of happiness would arise as a byproduct. You will strive your best to lead them to Buddhahood.
Yeah. Okay.
Continue.
Okay, please.
Drum, starting with the cultivation of great compassion, look at sentient beings and ask, who are these beings that I feel compassion for? Once you recognize them as your parents, care for them with loving kindness by striving to help them in whatever way possible. When you have dedicated your loving kindness, cultivate sympathetic joy with such thoughts as how joyful it would be if all beings were happy, and how joyful it would be if all beings attained Buddhahood. When you have dedicated your sympathetic joy, consider all beings with great equanimity, free of any partiality of intimacy and distance, just as you unconditionally affirm your own wish for happiness. Ensure that the pristine cognition of non-judgment reaches everyone.
So I think last, oh yeah, a few more there.
Okay. Drum, the root of all altruistic thoughts is compassion. Since it is in dependence upon compassion that all the qualities of the Bodhisattva
Bodhisattva comes about.
come about.
Mhm.
What need is there to speak of giving rise to the altruistic intention to help each other and every individual being?
Thank you. So up to here, now more talking about the mental cultivations, right? The cultivating those four immeasurable. And also, as I mentioned earlier, the four immeasurable you can keep as your principle, like a practice in your daily life. The every day meditating on one of these and cultivate, and then you can spend more time what you really need to get first, and then you can like do like the equanimity. If like a more easiest way to do it, build up the equanimity mind first, right? The building up equanimity mind is like a challenge to reduce attachment and hatred toward others. That's kind of things, right? So it's giving example like there are in hospital there are 10 people having the illness same. Then why you picked up one people to help, right? So because all the others are the same, therefore you try to do all equal same as much as you can. Or also giving further example, if 10 people come to you begging, right? And then who could be those? Take an example like all the 10 people are stranger. And the stranger, the 10 people comes to you and begging, give something. Then you give one and then nine, not giving nine, and how they will feel it, right? So, and then part of your bias, and then also their feeling, all is not that helpful. So therefore, if you want to give more sharely to all these 10 people. So similarly, what the human being or all sentient being, what they are begging, actually they are begging for us. What they are begging is their happiness, right? Yeah, their happiness. And then, so what we can give them is toward either the cultivating mind or external actions. As I mentioned earlier, smile. The smile is one we can give them, like be more happy, right? And then there are many actions there. So even you are very in a like a strong emotion, having sad or like anger or whatever happening at the moment, but try not shows that attitude externally to others, right? You having it same time you cause them have problem, right? So, but it is challenge, I know. It's anger is no way that I can keep in. I'm burning inside that, right? So, but this is possible that once you have anger, it will not let you burn. It's not let you burn others. It is possible. So therefore, the not the way that you express your anger, right? If you do not know other method, then expressing your anger is better. At least you overcome by depression or like some kind of anxiety, right? So, but find it out. We do have some other method to overcome by anger without expressing it, without causing them to have anger or uncomfortable, right? So, but our habit when we have anger, right? So then it comes naturally to express, right? Whatever, like a fast actions, verbal actions, everything goes to very ugly, right? So, that it means like you totally change the person at the moment when you have anger, right? And then it's right to call you are now mental illness person at the moment when you have anger, right? We are a mental illness person. So because out of control, that's a mental illness. So and then therefore, even you have a strong, try not cause them have any the others suffering. And then always do, right? So therefore, we have to work with, we have a lot of instruction and explanation that how I can cultivate this for invisible. There are many texts there. So therefore you maybe if you Googling or find it out online, you might find many different texts, how to cultivate that for immersible. And then I can suggest begin from loving kindness. No, sorry, equanimity will be more easier for us. Then compassion, then loving kindness, then joyful will come within it. You don't have to put extra effort on it. As well as as well as you have a compassion, all others comes actually, right? So if you have a compassion, then you will not let them, not wishing it's let them free from suffering, but you are also, try to have them happy because the compassion worked. The compassion and love and kindness is the two side of the coin, one coins, right? This is as similar like that. But if you have a strong love and kindness, compassion will driven it. But once you have a compassion, will better driven the love and kindness. So it's helping each others, right? So therefore, once you get one of these, then other will get easily. So therefore, we can first work hard for get equanimity mind. Every day meditate, practice, every day meditate, practice. So now the Buddhist talks a lot of different level of practice. You don't have to jump on it. Just stay on the four immeasurable. That's just you go, you will get everything. So therefore, equanimity is the first. You try spend every day, make have some kind of time for doing that. You schedule. This depends on your schedule. As well as it's in on your list, you will do it. If you do not have any your list, and then it's open. When you have a happy mood, you will do it. When you don't have a happy mood, you will not do that, right? Better put in lists in your daily life, right? So one of these practice, put in your list, then make it schedule and routinely do that. Then you will never complain that I don't have a time for doing that. So even like a 8-hour work, still we have a time to doing that. So therefore, keep it. And then what important is once you begin of this practice, continuum is most important. Continuum. So, and then some circumstances is like you have to stop. Today I can't do it. Then you're stopping it. That will be stopping forever, right? Then tomorrow you will stop again. Excuse again. Oh, I already broke now my list, and then not really affected. This is more affected in my life. I do that. This I just give up 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. Then you're not going back, right? You don't want to go back. You not feel that I will have to do it again. Then getting more worse and worse and worse. So therefore, continue means no matter how much you're busy, at least 5 minutes. It could be the continuous, right? So better more than it, but at least 5 minutes. Even your busiest, you do have a 5 minute. If you're not finding 5 minutes, when you are in a restroom, this is the 5 minute. What do you do when you're in the restroom? The thought is free. You're right. So this is use for that to cultivate. This is easiest. Then you cannot say I don't have a time because your mind and everything is totally free at the moment. Instead of thinking way negative, many negative, just go back. Okay. So I will think some of my jobs when I'm in the office. Right now I'm in a restroom. Well, I have to think that, right? I'm using for my cultivating compassion, love, and kindness. That's worked. That will be the makes you continuum, right? Okay. So what time is it? Okay. Now I'm going to finish today this. Then the next are talking about the action, right? And then okay, I will try to read it. Master, in that case, how would you teach the actual instruction on the cultivation of the altruistic intentions? Drum. First, go for refuge to the extraordinary object. In the middle, recognize the what called? Pros, right? Pros and cons of samsara and nirvana, and generate the supreme mind of awakening for the benefit of others. Then explain how to strive virtue by means of your body, speech, mind, and how to exhort others to engage in spiritual practice, but revealing to them the defect of circling existence. Finally, the perform our dedications together with the aspirations prayer, teaching that out of an altruistic intention to help in call the instruction. So we don't have to take every single thing's practice here. What he's really talking here is in order to cultivating compassion, you need to believe on instruction. If you do not believe on instruction, you will not follow it. Believing on instructions could be the person who wrote that instruction make you believe. That's not the best way to believe. The best way to believe, you learn all this instruction is perfect or not, right? After you learn all the instruction perfect, then you follow it. This is we say Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and other hands, instructor, instructions, and then example, right? So, and then who did this practice? You were finding example, and someone did it. Who is this? And then what do you experience? I feel good. Okay, there's good example. Then I go back. I believe this instruction. I found exactly example. Instructor are perfect. No matter what is thick and thin path, I'm going to do that. I'm cultivated. That's you taking refuge. You're taking refuge on the instruction, right? And then you're taking refuge on the example. You believe, then you follow it. That's refuge means. And then again, in order to doing that, first we need to find instructor, instructions, and example. Once you get these three clear, then you can begin the practice, right? So, and then the practice is for immeasurable. Cultivating each day one of these, or all, right? So maybe better one of these each day. So time by time. So, and then while you're doing that, still you have a lot of challenge that you seize many difficulty in your daily life. Therefore, making this is making in order of having calmness through by seeing that many different type in this earth, the breathing meditation is not the only one. Understanding nature of samsara and accepting it is the better than breathing meditation, I think. Right? Breathing meditation makes you calm at the moment while you're meditating. But understanding samsaric cause and effect and then accepting it will calm you forever. Whether you're closed eyes or open eyes, whether you're asleep or out of your house. Every time it's help. Every time it makes you calm. Calm means not makes you surprise. Because right? What is natural human being? When they have anger, how their reactions? What is the earth? All the natural desires to how it comes, right? And then it will comes because it's like a cause and effect. If we know that the natural desires and everything is coming then we are not surprised, right? So many things we surprised at the moment because you're not know clear or what the nature of the earth and beings, or you're not accepting it. Even knowing clear all this, we here use the samsara and nirvana, right? Samsara means all this nature of this earth and being who nature the earth, right? So if you know that, then whatever you see is no surprise. I think it's happening with me. I change country to country, right? And then where I grow up, and it's different, but no surprise when I meet the people, no surprise things there. I see different culture, no surprise, right? I see like a more different attitude, no surprise. And different feeling of suffering, no surprise. Because everything's same, right? Like say, or like the rose flower. When I see in India, now I'm seeing in the United States, is this any different? For the rose, right? Grows the different places, but the rose. They are no more surprised to seeing rose, because I see it, right? So they are no more surprised to seeing difficulty people, we are see it. They are no surprised to seeing very nice person because we see it, right? That kind of things. And then there are no feels like a surprise when I feel suffering. And then when I sick, illness, there's no surprise. Even COVID-19s, the COVID, actually, there's no surprise for us. Yes, new disease came. Yes, that's true. Which is danger. We have to be careful, but no surprise. Because it said we will learn there might have like 80,000 different disease. It will come time by time. That's we already learned when we learned at Buddhist in the monastery. 84,000 disease, right? And earlier time, like AIDS come or some others, many diseases come time by time, right? Now recently, COVID comes. No surprise, right? So as well as you're not surprised, you're not shocked to you. As you're not shocked to you, you will calm mind then. It's happening outside, but I'm calm mind. Let's see how I can protect myself to not have that kind of disease. Even when I have, why you have too much worry on that? It's happening with me, what should happen? Because this is the condition of my body. This is condition of my mind, right? My body is conditioning that it's having all this disease and suffering. Then once it's happening with me, why should I suffer? Surprise. See, this is how we accept all these samsaras, and then knowing all these samsaras, as I said, we know disease will come some other disease in the future. Never know. We are ready for that. This is the nature of this earth and beings. And it might be happen to me because of the nature of my body. When it's happening, why surprise? And there's not, because this is the condition. If you really wants to overcome by that surprise, then we might go achieve nirvana. That's the only way to do that. Otherwise, there's no way that you cannot have that kind of disease. Because as well as you hold this conditioned body, contracting body, you will have that disease. Then why you surprised? See, this all makes you calmness. Whatever circumstances and situation happening time by time will come. That's the better way to learn. And while you're cultivating compassion, all these natural things we have to learn, right? And then once people anger, how the reaction we have to learn. And we have to accept it. Then when we see the people anger, we will not surprise. It's not cause us to have manifest our surprise because we know I accept it. It's happening now, right? So all this we have to do it while doing that, and then you cultivate all this for immeasurable time by time. At the end, whenever you experience, you share to others. It says here, the altruistic intentions to help is called the instruction. Teaching this out, not teaching out without zero experience, not teaching out without understanding clear, right? If you are teaching out without understanding clear, your teaching will be very limitation. It's incomplete one. And you are instructing to someone else incomplete one, it causes a problem in the other life. Then you are not teaching, you are not benefiting, you're causing more suffering to others because your instruction is incomplete, your experience is zero. This is how you carry teaching to others. That's wrong, right? What we have to do it first, at least get like some kind of experience on that, analyze on that. At least you should clear understand what you're saying it with all this reason. You believe on it. You shouldn't say something that you not believe on it, right? You should say something you believe on it. That belief is not emotionally belief. Belief should become with the reason. Then your teaching will be more better. And then if teaching is better, that will the benefit. Therefore, as we're learning, we are not learning for becoming teacher, right? We're learning for becoming myself as a best person or nice person. Then after that, people will come to you, ask, teach to us, seeing your behaviors, seeing all these things. See, the people also come to the monks, say, oh, please teach us. But it's not necessary every single monks are educated, well-known about Buddhism. Not necessary that every single monks are great practitioner. But the general way, as wearing the monk robe, they believe it must be something there. It must be some power there. It must be knowing something. It's not necessary, but that's how we believe it, right? So therefore, this is, yes, they are monks, they are very great, the practitioner and well-known and very beneficial to others. They're monks, they are there, like I said, Dalai Lamas, right? So Dalai Lamas makes you think that every single monks are like him, right? So, but it's not necessary, but it's happening. What is exampling is if you practice, right? If you practice and change yourself, then people will come to you, teach us, because I see your every single attitude is gentle and nice. And then I want to become like that. How you do that? Please teach me. They will come to ask you to teach. That you are not looking student who come here, I can teach it. Right? So this is the order actually. You do practice first. Then based on that, if you teach, it's good. It will be benefit, otherwise not. So this is here, this paragraph, say drum. First go for revision. This paragraph talks a lot. This paragraph talks entire practice beginning to end. Right? So, and then finally is here, this is a master. So your response to my queries were numerous. If the relevance point in the entirety, right, are wrapped up, it is this. This is the summary now. This line we read all beginning part. So be free of flattery and flakiness is friendship, and steadfast and reliable at all times, talking about your moral ethics. Do not disparage others, talking about your altruism mind, but always abide with the respectful demeanors. Again, talking your behaviors. And when giving advice, maintain compassion and altruisms. They're talking orders. Before you give advice, you should cultivate. Then you can give advice. Well cultivated, even you not achieve 100%, you should have a strong belief and then some kind of experience you should have it, then your teaching will be better, says this. So when give you advice, maintain compassion and altruisms. There is nothing other than this. This concluded the 90th chapter, or this 19th chapter, 90th chapter of the Jewel Garland of Dialogues, constantly working for other welfare. This is the title of the chapter. So, okay. I think this is done right. It is anyway. Is this clear now? Okay, any further discussion, question? Yes, please go ahead.
Well, actually, I was wondering whether you were going to talk about patience.
I see.
Yeah.
Again, the patient, same as like a compassion, is not come naturally. And then all your contemplating meditation, right? We say analytical meditation. Analytical meditation will brings you the patience. And the analytical meditation is understanding reason, the circumstances and situations. And I can suggest read the chapter 6, Shantideva. It's very beautiful, nice reason, nice example, and understandable. It's not that hard to understand. It's understandable. So read, the chapter 6 talking about the cause of anger. There are 24 causes of anger. And then also talks the each antidote for 24 causes of anger. That's nice.
Read what?
Antidote, remedy for each cause of anger.
What book are you talking about?
Oh, Shantideva text, Bodhisattva way of life.
Oh, I have.
Yeah, the chapter 6. Chapter 6 is beautiful, okay? Yeah.
Read that again.
Yeah.
Bodhisattva way of life.
Yeah.
It's actually from your library here, but I've been.
Yeah.
Had it for a couple weeks.
And also you can find some PDF in the Google. There are many translation, but as the patient is not that much difficult, all those translations are good. The chapter 9, always the meaning here and there. There are, so far I see like a 7, 8 different translation on Bodhisattva way of life.
Is there a commentary that you
Yes.
suggest?
Dalai Lama commented on it, and some others, but I can say Dalai Lama's commentary is good.
You know remember what that's called?
Oh yeah, not really.
I switched it.
No, yeah. Maybe as like you can ask Chappelle. He's reading in English. I'm reading all the books in Tibetan, so he might know more details about the name and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. This chapter is beautiful. Actually, the entire Shantideva text is beautiful. It's very rational.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's not saying you have to have faith, you have to do that. No, that's not it. You have to do this because of this. That's beautiful. Yeah.
I'm so sure.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I've been studying Buddhism for a few years, and I feel like a total beginner all the time. But I do spread some Dharma wherever I go.
Uh-huh.
And I recently met a homeless guy in Danbury, and he was, crazy, and he was complaining, he was angry, but he said he liked to help people. And I said, if you're angry, you're not going to help people. And that simplicity of that sentence really just kind of made him step back for a second.
Mhm.
You're not going to be effective if you're angry. And he really thought about it for a minute.
Oh, okay, nice.
So
Yeah,
I'm
nice.
trying to.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. So day before, I went to New York and then traveling by subway, and then one person's begging to seeking money. Then the person comes in our like a car. What do you call car, right? Okay. So and then he said it, and then I'm looking everyone, and everyone's not giving. Then I'm not really comfortable to give. So then there might have some reason to know I'm not giving. Then the bottom line is I couldn't give anything to that person because no one's giving it. Then if I give what them like a giving to one person, maybe 10% might be get anger. So right. So that's I analyzed a lot and then finally I couldn't give it. So sometimes there's situations comes, right? So if I'm like giving act like it could be the inspire, but I'm in a dark place, either inspiring or causing anger. I do not know. So therefore, I just not give it. And yeah, just remind me that you're. Thank you. Oh yeah, it said the book name here, Benefit of All Beings, a commentary with the Bodhisattva by Dalai Lama, 14th. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
for the benefit of all.
yeah. Richard sent it here.
Oh, Richard?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Anyone? Any question? I can stop to share this. Uh-huh.
Sometimes I go to New York City a lot and I see people begging a lot. And I wanna give them money, but most of them, they're alcoholics. they're
Yes.
Addicts, and they're addicted to things.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't give them the money because I don't want them to go out and buy more alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you handle something like that?
That's challenge is having problem with the same problem with us. So if we go back to the textbook instruction, then as you are practicing generosity practice, not judge anyway. You just give it. That's said it, right? On the other hand, I also think more careful. Giving food is easier
Right.
instant than alcohol. Alcohol will more harms to them and then take their life. But why text say things, this could be the one of their karma, right? And then we are not have a power to change our karma. Even Buddha do not have a change their karma, and instantly, right? Buddha only can give the instructed how to change karma. Otherwise, instantly cannot change the karma. So therefore, now things make them giving is happiest. Only they want it, and then whether they end life or not is depend on their karma. So and based on that, just giving whatever, not judged by any way.
I always feel like people who are alcoholic and drug addicts and haven't been both they have suffered greatly, and if they're trying to get out of suffering at some point, like, you know, I see people, if I have money, I'll pull over on the side of the highway and hand somebody a 10 spot. And I'm not really in a position to do that, but I don't want them to detox and suffer more. So I try not to judge, and I feel like most people are just trying to not feel that kind of pain. And it's usually physical and mental, you know.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Okay,
Thank you.
so one more question. Anyone in online? Yeah. Okay, then what takes
Oh,
uh-huh.
we,
You don't want to do
You see here other Richard, other one said here.
oh, okay.
Buddhism.
Okay. Yeah, this is the number 2. Yes.
Oh, maybe we can ask, Chappelle to, do like an equanimity,
For the instruction
meditation.
for that?
Yeah,
Yeah, you can ask. I do not know. I do have in English, but I do have a lot of instruction in Tibetan. Yeah, that's I don't know if that translated or not. Yeah,
I'll ask.
yeah. So either Chappelle or the Anitento, you know, the Anitento, or like our senior student, you can ask them. So yeah. Okay, if no one have a question, then have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you. Have a good day then.